I'm Andy Smiley, the Friendly Podcast Guide. Every week, I put out an episode about a specific podcast to help you figure out if it's your next favorite podcast. Those come out on Tuesdays. I also put out another episode each Thursday that's a little more personal, either a list of podcasts I like for the season we're in, how I'm using podcasts in my own life, or something like that. This is one of those episodes, and this week it's all about spring cleaning and organizing. As soon as it starts warming up outside and I get to open the windows and let some fresh air in, I also get the urge to get my house looking and feeling fresh and organized. And I love getting inspiration from these 4 podcasts. This first podcast is for people looking for more order in their house and in their life. It's called the Routine and Things Podcast. Ashley Brown is the host, and she actually somehow makes routines fun and exciting. This is how Ashley describes her show. Ready to get organized and in routine so you can enjoy the heck out of life? You're in the right place. I strongly believe in the power routines have to shift your life in the most amazing ways. Each week, we'll dive into a specific routine or point of view that will help you get back on track to enjoying life as much as possible. Doesn't that make you excited about adding some routines into your life? Each episode is about 10 to 15 minutes long. I would recommend first listening to the episode Ashley did on the Friendly Podcast Guide to learn more about why she started her podcast and get a feel for the vibe of the show. If you're someone who doesn't pride yourself on your ability to keep a tidy house, this next podcast is for you. It's called A Slob Comes Clean, and it's for people who have a hard time keeping their house clean and tidy. Host Dana K. White says she shares reality-based cleaning and organizing tips based on her own deslobification process. She has almost 400 episodes, so you're bound to find several that can help you in your spring cleaning journey. Each episode is between 30 minutes to an hour long, and I would recommend starting with episode 367, when the whole house is just overwhelming, where Dana talks about how to start decluttering in an overwhelming, cluttered house. Before I tell you about more podcasts to aid in your spring cleaning and organizing, we're going to take a quick break to talk about my Guide to Kid podcasts. One of my favorite parenting tools is kid podcasts. I use them when I'm running errands with the kiddos to keep them from complaining the whole time, or when I need a mom break, I'll just grab an easy activity like coloring pages or a sensory bin, turn on a kid podcast, and the kids will be entertained for at least half an hour. I know that kid podcasts would help you in your life too, which is why I made a guide to kid podcasts. There are 8 categories ranging from science to mindfulness to audio drama, with at least 3 podcasts in each category. There are 27 podcasts in total on the guide. I've listened to each of the podcasts so I can attest to them being kid-friendly. And I put my email at the bottom of the guide so that if you try a couple with your kids and none of them are a good fit, you can email me and I will personally help you find a kid podcast that works for your littles and you. You can grab this guide at the link in the show notes. If you're looking for help in your spring cleaning endeavors, the How She Moms podcast has an episode all about teaching your kids to clean. Whitney, the host, interviews several different moms and uses other resources to help you figure out the best way to teach your own littles how to clean. You can find all of this awesome information in episode 11 of How She Moms. It's called How She Teaches Kids to Clean. The whole episode is less than 25 minutes long, so you can listen and still have time to implement some of the things you learn. If you want to hear more from Whitney, you can listen to the episode where she was a guest on the Friendly Podcast Guide. She talked all about how her life led her to starting a podcast and why she formats her podcast the way that she does. Okay, if you want a one-stop shop or podcast for all of your organizational needs, you should give the Organize 365 podcast a try. Lisa Woodruff is the host, and she is a home organization expert and a productivity specialist. She has several different types of episodes to best help you understand and implement the organizational gems she's presenting. Some episodes highlight her own organizational journey. Others focus on people in her Organized 365 community, their struggles, progress, challenges, and triumphs. Most episodes are around 45 minutes long, but some are as short as 15 minutes and others are as long as an hour. To give you a taste of what her podcast is like, I recommend starting with episode 526. Yes, she has a lot of episodes too. This one is called Marie Kondo Has Thrown in the Towel and Admits Her House is Messy. This episode gives you a feel for how she approaches organization and the flow of her show. Just talking about these podcasts has me excited to dive into some spring cleaning projects. I'm sure that you found at least one podcast that you want to use to add a little more order to your life. If I missed a podcast that you think should be on this list, please let me know over on Instagram. I'd love to do another roundup of cleaning and organizing podcasts like these again soon. Also, if you want to add kid podcasts to your parenting tool belt, grab my kid podcast guide to find a podcast that's a good fit for your littles and you. Talk to you soon.